So, welcome again. I'm not going to wait too much longer for anybody to get in. My name is David Hayne Menendez, and I am the Executive Director of Pennsylvania Interfaith Power and Light. I'm going to share my screen. There we go. It is nice to meet those of you that I've actually not met before on this call. It's always nice to see some new faces. So we're here for the PIPL 2022 Annual Advocacy Bike and Hike Journey Towards a Cleaner Future opening ceremony. As I said, my name is David Menendez. I'm the Executive Director. I think all of you are already muted as I set that up in advance. If you feel comfortable, obviously, feel free to leave your camera on. It's always lovely to see people's faces. Kathy, if you could go into the settings just so that it doesn't ding and chime every time that somebody comes in, I'd appreciate it. The other thing is if you can go into your the participants list at the bottom, change your name to your real name. If you could put your region, especially the region that you're going to be riding in, your preferred pronouns if possible, as I gave you an example of myself there. And as I said, the opening ceremony will be recorded for those riders, sponsors, guests who couldn't make it tonight. So Pennsylvania Interfaith Power and Light is an organization that seeks to inspire and mobilize people of faith and conscience to take bold and just action on climate change. And we are called, especially in this advocacy month, this bike and hike advocacy ride, to care for creation, to help one another, and to work for justice. And there's a few specific ways that we are going to unpack that a little bit later in how that will actually be concretized in this month-long advocacy event. But before we jump into that, as an interfaith organization, we always make sure that we center ourselves around faith and conscience, and I will turn it over to Melinda Crocus.
Thank you, David. So just start off, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of God, the one who acts with mercy, the source of mercy. You who are greater than anything that can be imagined are also Jamu, the gatherer, who's brought us together today to open this month of advocacy and support. You who are Al-Wadud, love, who have filled our hearts with care for the earth and all of its diversity. Just as we deeply value the ecological diversity that lives across this planet, we also deeply value the religious diversity that describes humankind. So may we live out that value of religious diversity here with each other so that the earth may flourish with the insights and wisdom and especially the humility that each of our religious and spiritual traditions offer us. May we live out the value of religious diversity by realizing the great power and the great light that emerges from interfaith engagement. The Quran says, "O human beings, surely we have created you from a male and a female and made you into nations and tribes and communities so that you may know one another." And among these communities, in fact, are birds and creatures and plants. There's not a moving living creature on earth nor a bird that flies with his two wings, but are communities like you, says. So what our common home needs from us in order to thrive is our commitment, our promise to cooperate with this light and with this power. And in order for the abundant life on earth to flourish far into future generations, to manifest its full potential is for us to wake up and to cooperate with the interdependent network, the interconnected fabric of life we find ourselves in together. So as part of this earth community, let us reaffirm our promise and commitment today as we begin this month of riding and hiking throughout Pennsylvania to help its ecological community, including ourselves. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Melinda. So why are we doing this bike hike? I think Melinda captured it quite well in the opening prayer, but to speak a little bit more potently, this is an advocacy month, right? This is a way of increasing visibility for the moral, faith, and the conscience-based imperative that is climate change. And that in that we must focus on climate justice of all things, that we as PIPL bring that with us in all the work that we do. But I will step back and let the wonderful members of my staff unpack a little bit more of the portions of the ride. So this is Amani Reed, our advocacy, our policy manager.
Thank you, David. Good evening, everyone. As David stated, my name is Amani Reed. I'm the policy engagement manager, and I'm in charge of and covering the advocacy for this bike and hike trip. Thank you all once again just for taking the time out this evening for this opening ceremony. As you can see on the screen, we're focused on 4 topics this year. Our main point of topic being sustainable health and development. Then we have climate justice and jobs, clean energy is energy security, and no new fossil fuel infrastructure. You'll find a full list and more of a write-up on the website. And also our ride goals include community, building community between cyclists and their sponsors. We're also trying to tie in advocacy, engage in advocacy all month. And I'll get more into that. And also generating support for Pennsylvania Interfaith Power and Light. So this year's ride, well, there are many different ways that you guys can take action. I'll just read through these first. You can mobilize your congregation and community actually taking action and joining our bike and hike trip. So for example, if you coordinate with your members and congregation and find a day in the month of May where you guys can actually ride or walk, that is what we're looking to promote. Also videos with elected officials. We're trying to really push our legislative officials and local legislator for clean energy, energy security, these topics that we were talking about, sustainable health and development. And more importantly, we've seen a lot of energy and climate legislation more recently, like in Philadelphia with the Whole Home Repairs Act and Councilmember Helen Gimp's Community Health Act. So we're looking to actually get feedback and responses from our elected officials. And please let me know. I will drop my email in the chat if anyone is interested in us contacting your local elected official and setting up a lobbying meeting. That's what we're looking to do as well. And I'll talk more about that. Next is writing letters to and calling your elected officials. We're looking to take this action not only for the month of May, but throughout the year. We're looking to write to our local officials and as well as our federal officials like President Biden, as far as letting them know our goals and our what we're pushing for, which is clean energy, and knowing that climate cannot wait. And we're centering this around our bike and hike trip this year. And then next is writing letters to the editor and op-eds, if anyone's interested in doing that for any topic that might stand out to you. We're looking for people to take action like that as well. And then tree planting events, we've started some already for Earth Day, which have been amazing, and we're going to continue to do those, as well as photo protests and also press attention. So we're looking to get that media and press coverage so that we can continue to spread the word and advocate as needed for this work. So as you'll see on the screen, we have quite a few dates. You'll also find these on the websites, and we have more to come as you see as well. We're going to have our first kickoff lobbying day and meeting with the legislator with State Representative Donna Bullock in Philadelphia. She has done a lot of amazing work in the city for climate justice and environmental justice, and we're looking forward to speaking to her. If anyone's interested in this meeting on Thursday, May 5th, it's coming very soon in a few days. It's going to be a 30-minute meeting, and I'll drop my link in the email in the chat if anyone's interested in being a part of that. And we'll have a virtual training on Thursday, May 5th, an hour before the meeting. Next is State Senator Tim Kearney, who we've spoken to in the past as well. We'll be meeting with him Wednesday, May 11th, and there'll be a virtual training the day before. We have a very special lobbying meeting in DC with US Representative Susan Wild, and our executive director, David, will be a part of that meeting. If anyone's interested in that and is available on Wednesday, May 18th, please let us know. And lastly, Council Member Kendra Brooks. We'll be meeting with her later, actually after the bike trip in June. But as I've said before, if there's anyone you guys really want us to reach out to and things you really want to get into your local legislator's ear, please let us know and we can set those meetings up as we're doing this work.
Yeah, I'd really like to push that idea that if you have your local council member, your mayor, your state rep, your anything that you think that we should have the ear of, that person that you want to speak to about something that can even transform your local town, let us know and we'll set that up. That's where we're at, you know. And I think it's not really possible to do the 5 to 10,000 elected officials across Pennsylvania that would be possible, but you are their constituents and you are who they want to hear from. So as soon as we know that there's somebody that wants to have that call, either during this month or elsewise, that's who we're going to target. I also think that like having your group locally ride to their office is potent. You know, it has greater visibility, or walk to their office. It has greater visibility, and it shows that there's a group behind this, not just a particularly concerned individual.
Yeah, and just to add to that, I've dropped some links in the chat, but we have advocacy days of action, which are also posted on our website. And those will be 2 specific days where we'll take action, and we'll actually have leaders in our city and faith leaders being a part of the conversation. So firstly, on Thursday, May 19th at 5 o'clock, we're going to have a training for story sharing, which I think is important when conversations around climate. I think it's important to put our stories in. So we're going to have a training on that, as well as letter writing. We'll have an opportunity to actually write out most likely to President Biden, and there'll be some more actions that day. And then on Friday, May 20th, from 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock, we're going to have a town hall style event focused on sustainable health and development, along with the other topics in our advocacy ride. So far, we're going to be joined by Senator Nikhil Sabal. Super excited about that, as well as Council Member Catherine Gilmore Richardson. And we're looking for other faith leaders. If you guys have anyone in mind, please let us know as well. We're super excited for that, so please stay tuned for May 19th and 20th. And then just to, also to add, we're just looking to promote advocacy and visibility. As you can see on the screen, there's many different ways that we can do that. And we're, you know, that is a part of this bike ride, and very much an initiative and focus of this bike ride is to continue to advocate and find ways within our congregations and within our individual selves to take action this year and this month. So we hope that you can do that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Amani. Kathy, our development manager.
Hi, pleasure to meet you. I see some new faces on the call. So I'm Kathy Raboski. I'm in southwestern Pennsylvania, and I'll type my email address into the chat as well when we're finished here. But you can always reach out to me at outreach@paipl.org. And though advocacy and visibility are the main goals of our bike and hike in any year, any given year, as a side note, we also undertake fundraising as part of our mission in order to increase our ability to advocate, educate, and work on creation care programs throughout PA. So we have a little fundraising update for you. We were a little behind where we were in 2021. So please reach out to your friends and neighbors and across your networks to increase our number of riders. We're at about 30 actual registered riders, but 4 of those riders actually are organizing teams. So we have a team from the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of the Wyoming Valley, which is up in Northeast PA. We have an EcoCycle Moms group from a State College area, and Scranton Grows Green, which, as you know, is up in northeastern PA around Scranton too. So it's wonderful to have this new option where this is new this year. We're trying out a team approach. So even though you may have registered on your own, if you have other friends who would like to join you as a team, we're going to put our administrator Ariel Sternman's email in the chat as well. You can reach out to Ariel to talk about how to register people directly as a team. And I believe that's bikehike.paipl at paipl.org. So we'll get that in there for you too. So we're increasing every day. In fact, I met a new organization in Lidditz, PA, which is north of Lancaster, an international organization. So we're hoping that they come through for us with a nice sponsorship. To date, we are at about 19% actually towards reaching our goal of 30%. So we're hoping that we get closer than 50%, but we're currently likely to be at 50% of our goal by the end of May. So thank you for your help so far, and let's keep it going. Here's some of our sponsors to date. The Sisters of St. Joseph of Baden, Pennsylvania, which is in Beaver County, even further southwest than Pittsburgh is one of our biggest supporting groups, and they're always with us for our annual conference, for our bike ride, and attending our Southwest PA chapter meeting. So it's great to have them on board as a bronze level sponsor. And then so far this year, we have 3 in-kind donation sponsors. Dunham Sports was with us from last year, and we will be sending you a digital QR code that you can use to get discounts at Dunham's. They're all over the state, so there is most likely one in your area. And we also have some paper coupons that we will be mailing out if you would like those instead of the QR code. Eaton Park is a Southwest PA organization. They've donated $10 gift cards, so we'll be forwarding those to our Southwestern Pennsylvania riders. And Wolf Tooth looks kind of vicious there in the logo, but they are a company that makes bike components. So they've sent us $100 worth of bike components. I don't know what they are yet, but this is the first time we've received bike components, so we're gonna have to figure out how to distribute those. Maybe we'll have prizes for the most photos in the blogs, or the longest blog, or the most blogs, or something like that. So that could be a lot of fun. Our rides, really, we encourage you to get out and explore nature, engage with nature anywhere you are. It can be in your own neighborhood, on trails that you have access to, but we've focused on 6 of our biggest regions across Pennsylvania. The next 3 will be on the following slide, but they're basically Harrisburg, PA, Lancaster, PA, Philadelphia, PA, Pittsburgh, PA, Scranton, PA, and State College or Central PA. And these are all photos, even with some riders on them, that were taken last year and entered as blog posts along the trail. So it was really fun. Within each of these regions, we have at least 3, sometimes as many as 6 suggested trails. And these trails focus on 3 concepts: eco beauty, which is of course the ability to get out and engage with our creator's beautiful world and really learn from that and treat it sort of as a forest bathing kind of experience. Then also eco challenges, which are those areas where you might be walking or biking past abandoned mines, or you might be in my area, you can actually bike past fracking sites, which don't make me feel very safe at all. And then we also have eco solutions. Again, in my area, we have a number of brownfield sites that are located along a trail, and one of those in particular has been renovated into a zero waste, zero water, zero energy site. So it's a net zero site. So we wanted to share examples with you of how we have challenges still in the state of Pennsylvania, but if we put our hearts and minds together and work on those challenges, we can create beautiful things. It doesn't have to stay that way. And this is a great video that I think David is going to push to show you some clips from our past.
Are you able to hear the sound? Sorry, I just wanted to check.
No.
Okay. Let me stop sharing for a second, and then I'll reshare with the sound, because I think I didn't do that in an initial share sound. There we go. Start it over. So next up, we will have Ariel discuss kind of the logistics of what's next or where you've been. I also just want to point out, obviously, that video had photos not only of the people that were involved in the ride and their profiles, but also of them on the ride from last year as well as from prior years. But it showed you the real kind of like gamut of when this used to go to DC, to COVID times with bike rides, to the diversity of different types of people that are involved all across the state. But without further ado, Ariel.
Hello. Okay, so the first thing is, and I think almost everyone has done this, but to send a photo and a short description of what the ride means to you to the email address I put in the chat, bikehike.paipl@gmail.com, so that I can create a nice page that is just yours that you can send to friends, family, people in your congregation, to encourage them to sponsor your ride. The other thing is that it would be great if you could talk to people at your congregation, or if you're involved in any ecological groups, and get them to join the ride as well. It's always more fun if you ride in a group, or hike. Sorry, this year there's hikers too. And so, to get other people involved, or if they can't join you, obviously to sponsor you. Another thing that we're trying to encourage people to do is to tell your local press. We do have, and I think Amani can also help you with this, templates, or also just suggestions for like how to write an op-ed. And also we have, if you let us know what area you're in, we have press contacts in many different areas. Sorry about my son. You have to be quiet if we're not on mute. Sorry. It would also be great to identify your local officials. And again, we can help you with that. Or if you look on the internet, it's fairly easy to find out who your local officials are and let them know that you're on the ride and why, and that you care about what policies they are supporting. And then the last thing is that it's helpful for us to so we can have kind of a place where everybody can see everybody's experiences, especially because we are in so many different regions. We're kind of a big state, not a huge state, but we're a pretty big state. And it's just nice to kind of bring everything together in one place. So we have the blog, and you can take photos of your region and your trails and your experiences, and also write about it. It's fun to read what other people are experiencing, doing, who care about the same things you care about, so that it doesn't all happen in a vacuum, where you may be doing this with your team or by yourself, but there are several other teams out there and many other individuals, and you can feel more connected. If you share, other people get to enjoy your experiences. And then if you check out the blog, you can enjoy other people's experiences. So I did just send an invite to David so that he can kind of demonstrate on his shared screen how to accept the invite. And it's unfortunately, I think it might sometimes go into promotions or spam. So do check that out. Anybody who's hasn't joined yet, I'll send another invite. It's from Wix. Hopefully David can show you what it will look like. And I'll send them out again right after this meeting.
Trying to get this screen up.
Yeah, see, so it says like Wix, you're invited to collaborate. Yeah.
Yeah, can everyone see that? You still see that?
I don't know where it went.
Oh, sorry. Hold on one second.
It was there.
Yeah, I tried pulling it out from my many, many tabs, and it.
Yeah, I have about 70 tabs open too. Okay.
So if you hit accept invite, what do we do next, Ariel?
Create an account. It's pretty much like any website. You create a username and password. It's a password. You can't know what he's writing.
I don't like that they're telling me that I'm weak.
Oh, yeah. Average.
Why is it not?
It has to
Sorry.
match exactly.
There we go.
Ah.
I'll also say for the in addition to sending, inviting, connecting with your elected officials and press, I would say invite them to ride with you one day. If you have a group, if you have a congregation, and you have an elected official that you think would actually do that, not only would it be good press for them if they are actually on our side, but also it would be a good way for them to hear about and connect to their community if they actually want to hear out what's going on in their community. So imagine, your council members or state reps just getting on a bike next to you. Maybe they will, maybe they won't, but I think a hike through the woods is not a terrible thing. Okay, what's next, Ariel?
So, well, now you're signed up and you can create a post if you want.
Okay, so
That's really it. It's
post.
just accepting the invitation and creating a username and password. That's it.
Okay, so everybody make sure that you obviously go into your spam, junk, promotion folders, things like that. We have noticed more and more things going into those folders, so we want to make sure that no matter what, you are able to get that and not miss out on the things that we are sending you.
I am going to resend the invitation to the 13 pending people right now. So by the time this is over, it should be in one of your folders.
Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. And then all we have left in our opening ceremony is a closing prayer. Melinda, could you please lead us in it?
Sure, and you can all kind of say, talking about promises or commitments. You can all at home kind of join in if you wish. We hold the earth. We hold brothers and sisters who suffer from storms and droughts intensified by climate change. We hold all species that suffer. We hold world leaders delegated to make decisions for life. We pray that the web of life may be mended through courageous actions to limit carbon emissions. We pray for right actions for adaptation and mitigation to help our already suffering Earth community. We pray that love and wisdom might inspire my actions and our actions as communities, so that we may, with integrity, look into the eyes of brothers and sisters and all beings and truthfully say, we are doing our part to care for them and the future of the children. May love transform us and our world with new steps toward life. Amen.
Thank you.